What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Welcome to another episode of the Excellent Adventures. And I'm not actually playing in this one, but I got a big batch of replays from this guy named Next Nova. Shout outs to you, bro, and your amazing deck building skills. And I watched these videos and I was like, oh my god, these are amazing and they're entertaining. I got to showcase these on my channel. And I figured since I got a bunch of them, I might as well just throw them all together and make an Excellent Adventures. So this is an Eidolon Beast deck. You guys can obviously see that when you see the Alistair and you see the Summoning Magic, but it's not a typical version. I mean, the card that's going to stick out like a sore thumb is this card right here, Neo the Magic Swordman. You're like, Cap, what the fuck is this? What is this card from like Legends of Blue Eyes White Dragon doing in a 2016 deck? And really, this is not just a non-typical version of Eidolons, but it's actually a hyper synchro version. Like, obviously, he's going to fusion summon because that's Eidolon's bread and butter, but he runs a bunch of weird normal monsters and spellcaster supports, and it all just kind of works together. And I'm telling you guys, this deck runs at pretty much a lightning pace, but he runs a bunch of it's a bunch of cards where you look at him and you're like, what I don't understand this. It's kind of a deck where the sum is greater than its parts. So you guys are going to see him. He has the instant fusion. Unfortunately, he did run into Maxi, and his opponent actually draws into another Maxi, which is really bad. And when he attacked into the Hedgehog, I was like, dude, you're about to get wrecked, because not only does he have another Maxi to counter your play, but then he's going to draw off a beast. Like, he gets to go Shadow Fusion basically for free, and your 101 is like not really getting any value. So this is a duel where when I first watched it, I was like, dude, you're going to get dominated. He summoned Dora. He's able to get a Surge. He still has Maxi to counter whatever he wants to do. And you see right here, he's going to use the Maxi. Now, he does use Dora's effect, and he gets smacked by the Ghost Ogre. Now, you're probably wondering why he's running Ghost Ogre instead of something like, a Fat Veiler, or it just being a better card. I think he uses Ghost Ogre is because, like, it works really well with instant fusion. You see he ends up getting OTK'd here through the Maxi. Like, he just pretty much ignored the Maxi. He was like, well, I already got the 101 on board. If I can make, double Merkaba, I can basically just kill you, because this is, what, 7,100 damage? So this is a good amount of damage. So he ends up OTKing the Shadow Train player, and this is a replay versus Raid Raptors, double R. Okay, we got him here. See, and you'll see that not only is his deck kind of like synchro based, but it's really weird to explain. Like, he uses this card Vylon Cube, so just watch how he abuses the hell out of Vylon Cube. He runs a bunch of weird equip cards. All of them are searchable because of Vylon Cube. So right here, he's using Refusion, and he's just abusing the fuck out of Norden. He's just gonna make a very, very impressive turn one board. And he can also search cards like Wonder Wand. Now, the thing is, Alistair is a spellcaster. He runs that Neo card, that's a spellcaster, and he runs a whole bunch of like weird spellcasters that he can equip Wonder Wand to. He runs like Trick Clown, and you can just draw cards. Like, look at this board. This shit is stupid. Like, oh my god. Hold on, let's just pause for 1 second, right? Let's just look at this, guys. He obviously went first and started with 5 cards. Now, by my count, I count 5 here just on the front row. That's 5 cards still in hand, and then we have 1 card here. So what is that, 11 cards? This is a +6. Now, granted, it took things like Instant Fusion, which, massive pluses right there, and Alistair is a +1, but still, you shouldn't be able to go +6 in your opening turn. By the way, that's not the most plus that he's done in these videos. So this duel just ends abruptly because, he tries to act, this is Tribute Lanius? Yeah, he tries to activate the effect of Tribute Lanius. Merkaba is obviously like, no, we're not about that life. We're not gonna let you activate that effect. And I mean, once that happens, Raid Raptors really can't do anything. Even if he had something like Regeki, it wouldn't matter, guys. He has another copy of Merkaba, and he could have just discarded Teleport. He could have just discarded 101. And you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, that must be another reason why he runs Ghost Ogre over something like Effect Veiler. Not just because it's better for synchro plays, but you also can like teleport it out of the deck. Let's see him go up against Predator Plants. People will love Predator. They always want me to talk about Predator Plants. Let's see what happens. See, here's a Wonder Wand, and this field isn't even that great, or his hand isn't that great, but the Wonder Wand makes the play kind of like, it makes his hand a lot better because he's able to Wonder Wand, Trick Clown, draw a couple of cards, and then still get the Trick Clown on the board. And he drew Instant Fusion, which is a power card for his deck. Now, he does lose his Trick Clown to Rafflesia, and it's not coming back from that, but he has Instant Fusion for Norden, and looks like he's gonna go for, okay, he goes for Moonlight, and Okay, got a bounce there, and now he can just start searching his refusion. Actually, it's not even just searching refusion, it's being able to abuse the fuck out of it's being able to abuse the fuck out of Vylon Cube over and over again. It basically lets him use Norden like 3-4 turns or 3-4 times in a turn, and he does use Ancient Fairy Dragon a lot in this deck because you guys know that Eidolons have their they have their field spell. You can blow it up, you can search another copy of the field spell, and I think this game is pretty much just GG because he kind of like bricked at the top, so it's not much he can really do there. He had a lot of cards anyways. Like I'm not sure if he would have been able to come back through 2 copies of Ghost Ogre. In addition, if he tried to summon a big monster, there's a chance it would have gotten bounced by Moonlight Dragon anyways, so that would have been very difficult. So here's Pendulum Hero. Now, this is one of the matches where I think that the player just made a huge misplay, and I was like, I think that the hyper synchro Eidolons might have won anyways, but I feel like he probably should have lost this match. So he obviously gets the Dark Law Surge. Now, I thought he might have gone for like a rank 4 play. Well, no. I don't think you can use Luster for I don't think you can use Luster for Exceeds unless they're Draco Exceeds, right off the top of my head. So Dark Law gets bounced, and he top decks a Pendulum, and he's gonna Pendulum everything back. Now why didn't he go for Ignister there? Now I don't know what this Performa Power monster does. I think it's moving too quick for me to read it, but why didn't he like go for Ignister? He could have just like spun the moon. I don't know. Anyways, I guess it would have gotten bounced either way, but I just think, oh man, I don't know. I feel like he could have just done something much better there. He goes for Dinoster, but it doesn't matter. His cards keep getting bounced. Like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there was no better play, but doesn't it just feel like this guy got the Pendulum summon like twice? It felt like there was just a better play. Now, this is really cool about this deck. This makes me want to net deck this shit. How long has it been since we have seen Arcanite Magician? I don't know about you guys, but when I see Arcanite Magician, the first thing it does is it teleports me back to Synchro Cat. To like when Synchro Cat was a relevant deck, and you could go like Summoner Monk, and then you could bring out Rescue Cat from Summoner Monk, and then you bring out your double Air Bellums, and basically you just make Arcanite just torture opponent's whole fucking field. Like that's what I remember this card from. I remember this card from, oh my god, if Synchro Cat, if they ever summon this card, you just gonna lose your whole field. And people are like, oh, why didn't you just summon Cold Wave, dog? Cold Wave. Cold Wave was real as fuck, that format. So this guy is getting destroyed. I don't know. And also, I don't know if he should have went into, like, doesn't it seem like he probably should have not went into Dark Law turn 1? You see that he gets the Scroll Combat Joker, which was pretty much like a decent top deck there, although there's no more monkey board, so I don't know how he would have been able to get 1 scale anyways. Also, when he searched from his Shadow Mist, I thought it was weird that he searched Plasma. I was like, oh, he's gonna get Bubble Man, he'll be able to do some stuff, and no, he searched Plasma. I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't even know what's going on. Now, here's a couple of matches versus Metaphors. These should be a little more competitive than the match versus Heroes, and you can see just based on the opening, like this looks like a typical Metaphors hand. You know what I mean? He's got the go for it. It's a counter trap version running guiding Ariadne, but it looks what's it called. He doesn't have enough Metaphors though to really make the hand live. Now he runs Unexpected Die in this deck because he does run Gem Knight Garnet for Brilliant Fusion, and he does run obviously this Neo the Magical Swordsman. Well, look how much stuff he has to play through. So that's 1 strike, 2 strikes, guys. He's playing through double Solemn Strike turn 1. Don't act like that's easy, guys, because you know that shit ain't easy. So he is finally able to get everything going with Soul Charge for what? Gets rid of the scale. You see Ancient Fairy Dragon. This is where Ancient Fairy Dragon is going to be really good because he has a field spell. Black, I was going to call it Black Rose Dragon. No, it looks like he's going to go Moon Rose Dragon. He uses the double summon. Oh my god, that is so stupid. Using the double summon to normal summon the Neo again, just to equip it with Wonder Wand and send it to the graveyard to draw a couple more cards. Now, he does try and use Pendulum Scale. Unfortunately, that's going to get hit with, that's going to get hit with Ghost Ogre. See, that's why Ghost Ogre is actually really solid. It's good against, like, Pendulum Scales. Now, he is able to finally summon that Gofu, but it's not really doing anything. Like, he has a counter, he has a Solemn, but that's not going to, what is that going to do when your opponent has, like, all of these, when your opponent has all these monsters on the board, and you can never quite establish a board? Not to mention, if he tries to activate any spells, they can get negated by Merkaba. He can't really negate the counter though, but I mean, he can kind of just push through for a lot of damage. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, but he did actually pitch a card to give what's it called, to give Seraphonite 2300 attack. You see he tries to activate a scale, he just discards the instant fusion, says no, I don't think so. And at this point, the Vanities isn't going to save you when your opponent has already established a big field. So while this deck, I would say probably, like, it doesn't go into, it doesn't summon the Eidolon Beast as much as other versions. Like, you haven't seen Raideen yet. I still think you get really good fields because you can summon, like, it summons a whole lot of level 7 synchros, which is cool because level 7 is something that has been unappreciated. Like, it's a level that really doesn't get a lot of appreciation ever since like the Synchro Cat era when Blackwings were really big. That's not a level that you see prioritized. Most people like to go like level 8 and, you know, other levels for synchros. Maybe Yang Zings do a little bit, but not a lot. So right here, you're seeing him kind of turbo through, and this is probably his weakest field too. And it's not looking good because he's going to have an Archfiend to deal with. He has to negate that, so he has to pretty much throw it at that. He's going to have to deal with a Kieran. So you guys can't say that this isn't, you know, a competitive version of Metaphos. This looks pretty standard. Actually, I would say this is more standard than the last one. And honestly, let's just pause for a second. If you look at the board, it looks like the Metaphos player should easily win. I mean, he has Vanity's Emptiness, and he has Kieran. Like, if you have those two, plus you have an Archfiend Eccentric in your hand, you shouldn't lose that game. You just shouldn't lose that game. So he is going to get his, what's it called? He's going to get his Circle. That gets him Alistar. He tries to bait out the Kieran, which he is successful, but it does cost him his Ancient Fairy Dragon he's going to summon, but that's in the Vanities. And if you look here, he pretty much just has a shitty field. He should be able to easily pop this Vanities by using his Metaphos Silvered, right? Yeah, okay, Silvered. And Archfiend Eccentric is going to grant him a Pendulum, which means he'll get Kieran right on the board. So again, this is a game where he probably should have lost. Now, let me just, I don't understand why. Let me just say it. I don't get why he used Kieran to bounce Alistar. Even though he already had another Circle in his hands, I guess it didn't matter. But why would you give your opponent another search for Alistar? That just didn't make a lot of sense to me. Because you're basically letting them grind even harder than before, or you're letting them grind harder than they should. So Kieran's gonna get banished, and I feel like when he lost that Kieran, I was like, dude, I think you may have lost the duel. So I mean, there wasn't anything he could do as far as playing around like the Merkaba, because Kieran is just gonna get like banished by Merkaba's effect as long as he had a monster in his hand. But I don't know, maybe he wouldn't have had a monster in his hand had you not let him bounce, had you not bounced the Alistar. So he is going to go Eccentric, but when he activates Metaphos Fusion, that's going to get negated. Now, he does lose the Merkaba. So again, this is a duel that's still going back and forth. And imagine if he hadn't bounced that Alistar, maybe he wouldn't have had this Alistar left in his hand, and he'd be down to pretty much no resources. Now, I don't get this again. I don't get this. He bounced the Summoning Magic to his hand, or excuse me, he bounced the Circle to his hand. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you letting him reuse his cards over and it makes no sense. He goes for a Digustal Emerald. Okay, that's a pretty cool play. And that gets him Gemnite Pearl back, and he's actually able to go into the big guy, and that's pretty powerful because obviously that motherfucker can just banish everything, and he's able to attack for game. So you guys can just go ahead and call him out. Just massive misplays. Let's just say he definitely should have lost that match. Let's skip to the ABC one because the Fluffle replay is bugged, but I want to save that one for last because of the opening, which is, it's so stupid, the potential of this deck. So this is the ABC version that runs Transmodify. This is obviously not the best version of ABC. Look, I'm gonna be real. If you are playing ABCs and the only thing that you have turn one is a Solemn and a Cyber Dragon Infinity, that is not good enough this format. It just really isn't. For one, if you don't have any other resources, someone can just easily set their Solemn and they can just kind of like pass turn, not summon any monsters or not activate anything into your Cyber Infinity, and then during their next turn they can just, you know, activate something you try and negate in Solemn, because it's not like you don't have any more offense. You put everything into this. It's not like you have an ABC. Now if you had an ABC Buster Dragon alongside of this thing, I'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. But just to have this by itself, I'm not really feeling that. So he does throw his negate away really early, which I didn't like, because that allows his opponent to go Wonder One and do his things without really even committing his normal summon. His normal summon does get effed up by the Solemn Strike, but you know, Norden is that dude, guys, and he's able to just go Norden Castell, and this guy basically doesn't have anything left. He's playing limiter removal, and obviously that's a card that is not only a neg 1, but it's completely dead if you don't have a field. Like if you don't have other I don't think ABCs need, like they don't need to try no TK. He top decks to Transmodify, and basically that's just GG at that point. Now, this is the one that I'm saving for last, and it's really because turn one. Now, let me just pause for one quick second. I know you guys hate when I pause. The reason I can't show this whole replay is because Frightfur Patchwork was actually bugged. So they obviously had to redo it. They had to fix the card, but this is the card right here that just won't come up. So let me go ahead and run this before it ends up crashing. And you're going to see one of the stupidest turn ones that a deck could possibly make. Now, again, it does involve him using Brilliant Fusion, but when you run 3 copies of Brilliant Fusion, plus you run all these damn draw cards like Wonder Wand and stuff like that, you will actually get it quite often. And not just Wonder Wand, guys, he actually runs White Elephant's Gift. Like, what the fuck? I think it's a card like I think it's a card off the top of my head. You like send a normal monster to the graveyard and you like draw 2. It may have to be something specific to being like it's like a non-effect monster. It's a weird card. When I do the deck profile of this, you guys will see it. But this whole deck is just really fucking crazy. And he's gonna Wonder Wand multiple times. I think he's activated double Wonder Wand like during this turn. Like, this is fucking insane. So hold on, let's just pause right quick during the end phase. This is about to be the end of the video. You start off in Yu-Gi-Oh with 5 cards, right? 5 cards. He still has, at the end phase, still has 5 cards in his hand, has 5 monsters on the field, has 2 in the back row, although Gem Knight, I mean, maybe counting Brilliant Fusion as another card is a little bit of a cheat, but I'm counting it, goddammit. Still having the E-Teleport as a possible defensive card in case one of his monsters dies. Look, the point that I'm making, guys, is he has 12 cards and he started with 5. That is fucking +7. Like, how should you should, this is like some Infernity level shit, or like Performages and Pals like level, you know what I mean? +7 turn 1? How is that a thing? And if I keep playing it, obviously it's just gonna get an error because of Frightfur Patchwork. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the excellent adventures of Hyper Synchro Eidolon Beast. If it wasn't Hyper, call me out on that, guys. I think that when you can go +7 turn 1, I think it definitely qualifies as Hyper. Definitely was a Synchro deck, because I mean, if you look at this board right here, you see 3 Synchros on the field, and I don't know, I thought this build was very cool. It was very flashy to watch, and I liked it, and I honestly cannot wait for Fusion Enforcers. I mean, these are 2 decks right here that are just going to get just huge boost. Well, actually, these guys will be released in Fusion Enforcers, and then obviously Fluffles will get a lot better from Fusion Enforcers. If you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. Again, thank you very much for Next Nova for presenting me with these awesome replays. Subscribe if you guys have not already.